Hello, welcome back to Dry Creek Beekeeping. So today my plan is to just look at the alpha and beta hives. I got a ton of helpful comments from you guys from my last video on these hives, and I'm going to be implementing some of those things in this video. And there's a chance that I might have to split these hives again as well. So we'll see when we check these hives out. Starting with the beta hive here, this is the hive that I got the most comments on because this is the one that I would say is the weirdest. And I put a honey super on this last time in an attempt to allow them to have room to expand in the hopes that they wouldn't be threatening to swarm constantly. And we'll see how that worked out. I doubt that it did much though. But actually, first impressions here, looking down between these frames, they've repaired most of the comb, which is good to see. And in this honey super, they've already begun filling it with some stores. Not much, but there are some there. And that's all I'm really going to look at with this honey super here, because I might just remove it, to be honest, depending on how things go. Because all things considered, this is a pretty weak hive. And once again, I can see that they haven't expanded to these outer frames. So, like these frames here, you can see they just literally have nothing on them. Whereas the frames that already had comb on them, they are doing extremely well. Very good honey stores, strong brood, but they have queen cells. Again. And the queen cells have eggs and larvae in them, so. But that brings me to one of the comments that I got on that last video, which is somebody recommended that I checkerboard the frames. And that's something that I didn't even think of for some reason. And I probably should have done that a long time ago. So what checkerboarding the frames mean, I will take these empty frames on the outside and space them in between the filled frames in the hope that they fill up those empty frames. But I'm not sure how well this will work to get rid of the swarming issue, because as another comment said, once a hive has their mind set on swarming, they won't really change their ways in that. There ain't much you can do. However, I don't really want to split this hive because I've already split this hive once, and also it's kind of a nuisance to split these hives because I don't exactly have the resources available to readily split this hive currently. Also, look at this frame. This frame is just full of capped honey. This is a heavy frame. I want to try to keep the brood frames together as much as possible so that the brood doesn't die, you know? I'm going to place the frames of honey all the way on the outside, and as I go through, I am going to be removing these queen cells again, because, like I said, don't have the resources to split this hive currently. So I'm just going to keep going with the prevention from swarming route still. However, in the coming weeks and months, we'll see if that changes. Who knows? This hive could see another split yet. Alright, so the hive has been checkerboarded. Now the empty frames are going to be this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I'm actually going to do this for the bottom super as well, because that problem exists in that lower super as well. Alright, so here is the bottom super. Taking a look at one of these outside frames here, you can see these outside frames, they are pretty much empty. And that's not something that we want to see. So I'm going to move this frame pretty close to the middle here, and then this outer frame as well. Alright, there we go. Now the empty frames are here and here, and all the rest of the frames are full. For now, I am going to be leaving this honey super on there because, like I showed earlier, they have been putting stores into these frames, which tells me that they might be ready to have this on here. And also, I'm hoping that the extra space in this hive will give them incentive to not swarm. However, if the swarm threat keeps up, I am going to have to split this hive again, which is not exactly something that I want to do. All right, moving on to the alpha hive here. This one, last week, it didn't have many stores, but its population was getting so big that it was threatening to swarm. And to be honest, I might split this hive. That was the plan from the beginning of the year anyway, that this hive would have to be split. And they drank this entire bottle of sugar water since last week. What I'm very curious to see is whether or not they did anything with this honey super. And they didn't. I can't say I'm too surprised about that. Again, the population in this hive is just massive. I would be okay with splitting this hive. What always gets me about this hive is the amount of brood they make. Like, look at all of that. There is so much brood. One good thing that I'm seeing though with this hive is they actually do have stores. They have some nectar stores up in this corner here, and then they have pollen stores scattered throughout, which is different from previous weeks, and it's also very good. I see some queen cells in this hive, but none of them actually have like eggs in them. Another thing that kind of concerns me about this hive is how high all the brood is in this hive. I know this hive probably needed a box rotation, and I never gave that to them. However, I might do that today. Because this hive isn't actually threatening swarm, it just has queen cells without anything in them. They are just empty queen cells. I'm going to do a box rotation, and then I'm going to put the honey super on, or back on, without the queen excluder. So hopefully they fill that. And I'm thinking, because they aren't actually threatening swarm, giving them that extra room to expand will just allow them to expand, and then I don't have to make a hive split yet, and I can just hold off on that for now, since I don't know where I put it. This bottom box is also full of brood. Well, that means that I don't know if a box rotation would even do anything. I suppose there's much less brood down here. All right, yeah, they definitely need a box rotation. I just found a fairly strong frame of stores in the bottom box. So, yeah, box rotation it is. I'm not the most experienced beekeeper, obviously. I only have 4 years of experience, but I feel I'm experienced enough to say that these hives, the alpha and beta hive, they are just so strange. They are genuinely confusing hives. I will come back to this hive in 2 weeks and see how they're doing. Hopefully they've gotten over whatever hiccup has been happening and they'll be back to doing well. This hive just has an insane queen. I mean, you saw how much brood there was in there. It's shocking that a hive this strong could be just doing this weird of stuff, but it is. And hopefully they figure everything out. Alright, so to recap what I saw and what I did in this video, with the beta hive, I checkerboarded the frames and removed all the queen cells from the hive, and I also left the honey super on the hive in the hopes that they can see this as, I don't know, a sign to not swarm, hopefully, because I don't really have everything set up to make a split of that hive right now. However, if things keep going the way they are with this hive, I am going to have to make a split, more than likely, and I've already made one split of this hive, so I don't know. I don't really want to, but I might have to. And with the alpha hive, they have an insane population in the hive, but they have low stores. They seem to be figuring out the low stores thing, and they don't really seem to be wanting to swarm anymore either. So I did a box swap so that the majority of the brood is in the bottom super now, and I left the honey super on there, and hopefully in the coming weeks we can see them start filling that honey super with honey. But that's going to be it for this video, so thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.